Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Murlidhara, Radha Murlidhara Radhe. Jaya Radha Murlidhara, Radha Murlidhara Radhe. Gaura Chandra, Jaya Gaura Chandra, Gaura Chandra, Jaya Gaura Chandra. Jaya Gaura Chandra, Gaura Chandra, Gaura Chandra, Jaya Gaura Chandra. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada.
voice is a little raspy. Like, just a couple minutes. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. One more time all together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. A little louder. Haribo. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Radhe Murlidhara Radhe Radhe Murlidhara Radhe Murlidhara Radhe Bola Radhe Murlidhara Radhe Bola Radhe Murlidhara Radhe Nitai Gaura Hare Bo Nitai Gaura Hare Bo Nitai Gaura Hare Bo Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada. Gaura Premanande, Haribo. Oh wow, that's a lot of people. 2 more minutes. Please.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai.
Have a round of applause for Sandeep and Sandeep.
Sorry? Yeah, London.
Welcome everybody tonight to the Bhakti Center. We have the great fortune again to repeat what we did last week, is to hear from Radhanath Swami. We have a bit of a more intimate crowd tonight. These are the people that brave the storm. We're so eager to hear it. So it's always a special pleasure to have Maharaj here. I was thinking to myself just yesterday, I think I've known Radhanath Swami for over 25 years or so, and I guess part of my relationship with him is I share some observation that I have about anything, and then he speaks and reveals a much deeper understanding of what I just brought up. And it's that insight, that spiritual insight that is so valuable for us to hear, that someone who's lived the life of bhakti and contemplated these truths, that they can see this world through different eyes, through what in the Bhagavad Gita calls the Jnana Chakshus, through the eyes of knowledge. And so it's such a pleasure and such an honor to have you very much. Thank you so much for speaking with us. Please come and share with us. We have a round of applause for that.
Agyantimidandasya Jnananjanachalakhaya Chakshurun milidham yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirbishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatharine Vanshakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yasodhanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Thira Panachari Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Thank you from my heart for all the efforts that were required to be here this evening. To work a job for earning money, which is required for many in this world. We have to pass through so many storms of challenges in life. Sometimes to sit and watch a baseball game at Yankee Stadium, there's so many storms. Or in a football game, there's so much cold and snow. But we stay because somehow we see the value in it. And in relationships, how many storms and challenges are there to be a parent? But yet the mother and father, whatever may be, they try to give the best they can. So the nature of this world is there's sunny days and stormy days. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's very difficult. Going to college, I only made it through one semester myself. But our Krishna Kishore, he's working on his PhD at the Columbia Divinity School. And sometimes I could see, just on the expression in his very luminous face, that he's under tremendous stress. But he keeps going because he sees the value of what he's studying for. If we take the goal of our life seriously, then whether it's sunny or stormy, it really doesn't make any difference. Whether it's easy or difficult is really not important. What is important is this the right thing to do? Is this my purpose? I've seen in holy places thousands and thousands of people, parents with little children, sitting to hear spiritual subject matters. When there's strong winds blowing and there's rains pouring, they're just sitting with umbrellas and probably more attentive than if it was a sunny day. Because they really believe that if this is so difficult, I must really get something out of it. Yes, sometimes if things are too free, we take it for granted. If we pay a price for it, then we feel a sense of need to get the best, to really take advantage. What is more valuable than spiritual knowledge, spiritual direction, which comes through spiritual association, satsang? When there's difficulties to get such a thing, we don't take it for granted. So there was thunder and there was lightning and there was somewhat of torrential rainstorms. Right now, in another month, the monsoon rains will begin in Mumbai. And they're really torrential rainstorms. Continuously, sometimes for days at a time without stop. Sometimes the whole city's flooded. Sometimes to get to the temple, people are walking above their knees in rainwater. Sometimes I've seen people make little boats to sail down the streets and alleys to get a little further. Trains stop, buses stop. But when they come, they're so happy. It actually the more you give of yourself for something wonderful, that tapasya, that austerity, actually brings joy. So we have had a little of that experience today. While I was coming here, Jai Giridhari Prabhu said some people drove for several hours through storms and winds and rains, and they look so happy when they come. This eagerness, this sense of taking something very seriously, is the consciousness where we can actually receive. When we take opportunities lightly, when we think, I've been before, I've heard before, so what? I have other things to do. Then that consciousness, when we do go for something, we're really not in the state of consciousness to truly receive it or appreciate it. This lowliam, this eagerness to come closer to God, to be with people close to God, is a sacred quality. And Krishna, who is in our hearts, reciprocates with that quality. There's a story in Srimad Bhagavatam. I will take you back to a time about 5 millennia in the past. High in the Himalayas is a place of pilgrimage that countless people have gone. It is called Badrinath or Badrik Ashram. Today you could drive there. But just about 50 years ago, there was no roads. You had to walk hundreds of miles to the Himalayas, to very high levels. And there was a saying. When a person was coming close to death, they would say, I'm going to Badrik Ashram. Because when people were old and they knew they were close to death, they would walk there, knowing they would never come back. Whether you die there or die on your way there, you're in that eagerness to be in a holy place. Now you could drive there. I've been there and back so many times. The river Alaknanda, which becomes the Ganga, the Ganges, is flowing very strongly there, coming right out of a glacier. Above that place, the great sage Vyasadeva was sitting on the bank of the Saraswati River. He was a great literary incarnation. He had taken so many Vedic literatures and divided them into various books. The Rig Veda, the Sama Veda, the Yajur Veda, the Atharva Veda, the Upanishads, 108 principal Upanishads and many others as well. The Samhitas, the Itihastas, the Mahabharata, a poem of over 100,000 beautiful poetic Sanskrit verses. He synthesized all of them as the essence in the Vedanta Sutra. He wrote 18 Puranas and then other Puranas. But somehow he wasn't satisfied. He was feeling an emptiness in his heart. Why was he doing all of these things? Simply because of his compassion. He deeply cared for all the people of this world. Now he's way up in a cave. I've been to his cave. It's a really nice cave. It's called Vyas Gufa. Has anyone been to that cave? Everyone has been to that cave. So you know. He was alone with some very holy, saintly people, yogis. He was fully enlightened, fully tasting the ecstatic bliss of the soul, the Atma. He was self-realized. He was in the deepest state of inner peace and divine love. Why was he unhappy? Paradukaduki. Because great persons, they feel the sufferings of others and they feel the happiness of others. That becomes their state. Compassion. If a mother is in perfect health and she's young and she's beautiful and she has all the things she wants in life, but her little baby child is crying and has some disease, she feels. Love is not just a stagnant state of consciousness. Love is dynamic. In the spiritual realm, love is just the all-pervading, ever-increasing outpouring of our affection for God and all living beings and everything that exists. But in this world, in this temporary material world that we're living, love of God is expressed through compassion to those who are suffering. Not only those who are consciously suffering, but those who think they're happy, but they're on the road to suffering. Because everything's temporary. Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. We can't hold on to anything. Time takes everything away. Vaisheshika Prabhu, one of our dear brothers, was giving a class here the other day. He was giving this beautiful analogy that we should practice preemptive charity. Because everything that we have, our abilities, our intelligence, our wealth, our resources, everything is going to be taken away in time. If it's taken away by time, or taken away by thieves, or taken away by the taxes of the government, or taken away by old age and death, we get no credit for it. When something's taken from you, there's no credit. You're giving it away, involuntary. But if in our life, whatever we have, if we offer it for the well-being of others, in the loving service of the Supreme, we get limitless credit. And that credit is never lost. Bhagavad Gita tells, Neha bikramanasosti pratyavayo navidyate swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. That any endeavor in the path of devotion is never lost. It's a credit that's forever, beyond birth and death, because it's connected to the eternal soul. Vyasadeva, he was happy, he was peaceful, but he was feeling for us. What can I do? I want to give the people of the world, not only for now, but for all time in the future, the best thing I can. And I've given everything. What's wrong? And then his guru appeared, Sri Narada Muni. Please raise your hand if you have heard of Narada Muni. Please raise your hand if you have not heard of Narada Muni. The more hands raised for not knowing, the more enthusiastic I will be to tell you about it. He explained to Vyasadeva that you have given so many religious principles, you have described the path of Dharma in so many ways of how people can elevate themselves through karma, through jnana, through yoga. And that's wonderful. The gradual elevation of the consciousness of the people. But the highest perfection, the Purushartha Siromani, you have not written anything that's exclusively dedicated for that. When people hear the message and the glories of the Supreme Being, and hear of the process of pure devotion, unmotivated, uninterrupted, loving devotion, which is the highest experience of the soul. It's our instinctive divine nature. When people realize that, they experience the love and the happiness that is their true constitutional nature and can never be lost. And sometimes to give people further faith in a teaching, we tell a story. Sometimes our own experience. Narada Muni told his experience. Please listen carefully. He said, long ago, in a previous age, I was born in a forest. I was the only child to a widowed lady. My mother had no education. She had no protection. She had no means really to survive, except being a very humble, menial maidservant. No social status whatsoever. I was completely dependent on her. And I was really the only thing she had in her life. She gave me the best, the very, very best that she could. But it was so little. When I was just hardly 5 years old, a group of great yogis, sages, came to that place in the forest. And my mother was serving them. Great sages and yogis, especially in those days, they don't pay you money. She was serving them simply because she wanted to please them. And she'd get a little food for herself and little food for her son. But she was grateful. And the little boy, he was enthusiastic to assist his mother in just doing little things. He was not educated. He was not skilled in anything at that time. But he wanted to please these great people. And what did they do? They spent their time in Harikatha, speaking about the message of the Lord, speaking about the highest purpose of life and how to achieve it, describing the wonderful pastimes of the various incarnations of the Supreme Being. Because by hearing these messages, something happens. Transcendental sound. When we hear the message of the Lord, the pastimes of the Lord, the qualities of the Lord, it connects us, this sound vibration, to the Lord who is seated within our heart. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hriddeshe Arjuna tishtati. And when the Lord sees that we're eager to hear, there's some benefit if we're listening and falling asleep, wishing if this person would end already. There's some benefit there because we're there. We could be sleeping somewhere else. So there's some enthusiasm. But when we're eager to hear, that's an expression of affection. And the Lord within our heart, who is not different than that vibration, reciprocates with us. It cleanses our heart and awakens the true goal of life. That awakening of his eagerness to hear came from a blessing because he was eager to serve. He was eager to serve just to please. He wasn't getting paid. He just wanted to make these yogis happy. And one day, after serving for so many other days and pleasing their hearts by his sincerity, he asked permission to get the remnants of the food that they had already eaten so that he can eat just a little bit. It's not just eating food. It's something that goes so deep. He's taking such a humble role of valuing these people. When we talk about touching someone's feet or eating what they have on their plate after you can't just steal it, they have to give it to you. Then you're really valuing how exalted they are. And these particular people, they had no money, they had no homes. They were just wandering yogis and sages who simply loved God. And he valued their greatness so much. Please, may I have some of your food? And they gave to him. They didn't just give some of their food, but they gave their hearts to him. Tadvidi pranipatina pariprashnena sevaya. Because he was so eager to serve. He took their association so seriously. In school, I didn't last very long. Not much longer than that little 5-year-old boy. But I remember when I was in school, when I was a teenager in the 1960s, it wasn't about getting good grades. It was about changing the world. That's kind of where our consciousness was. And I just wasn't interested in many of the studies. But I had one teacher. So many of my other teachers would chastise me. Sometimes they'd kick me out of the class. I didn't do anything really wrong. I was just not interested. Please don't follow me in that way. But one teacher, he made me feel so important, so valued. I studied so hard. I got straight A's in his class just to make him happy. And I learned in the process. So when you value someone, not just because of some reason of getting paid, but because they value you. You want to reciprocate. It's natural. This child, he saw that these devotees, Bhakti Vedantas, they loved him so dearly to the very core of his soul. They had nothing material to give him. But they have transcendental knowledge, blessings, grace. And he was willing to do anything for them. And through that service of just cleaning some things, giving some things, taking some things, in the sense of in the forest. He would bring some food for them. He would bring some leaves for them to eat on. Because they were pleased, something happened. He developed more and more of an eagerness to hear what they were saying. After some time, it transformed his life. Vishayavani vartante niraharasya dehana rasavarajam rasopyasya param dristvani vartate. When we experience this higher taste, then all other things we can understand what their value really is. He became so enthusiastic to hear the message, endlessly attached to the pastimes of the Lord, endlessly attached to the instructions of the Lord, endlessly attached to the histories of great sages. He couldn't hear enough. That association with them was his life. He said, I became so attached to them. Now, sometimes we hear in yoga schools we're not supposed to be attached. But in the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the great proponent of Sankhya Yoga, Kapila Dev, he tells that the highest perfection of life is possible when the same attachments that people have for material things, attachment to power, attachment to prestige, attachment to sex, attachment to accumulating wealth, attachment, doesn't say in the Bhagavatam, but gadgets, can apply today. If that same attachment is directed towards saintly people who love God, that is the highest path of perfection. Because that's where sadhu sangha, sarva sastra koi, lava matra sadhu sangha, sarva siddhi hoy. The doors to liberation are open when we become attached to saintly people, people who love Krishna or are aspiring to love Krishna. After 2 seasons, the rainy season and the autumn season, those great devotees left. They never stayed in a place for so long. And the little boy was left with his mother. He was now still 5 years old. He was feeling so much nourishment. He was so deeply attached, because when you're attached to those who love God, you become attached to God. His mother, she was doing everything for him. He was completely depending on her. Imagine being a 5-year-old child living in the jungle. You're with all these great sages. They have left. Now you're just with your mother. She's feeding him. She's nursing him. She has so little, but she's giving him everything she has. One day, in the darkness of night, she went to milk a cow. As she was walking, a snake struck her on the leg. She died. The little child's all alone. No one to help. No relatives. No life insurance. And his mother's dead. That's a crisis. That's a trauma that we cannot even imagine. How can a child that age survive? Because of the spiritual nourishment he received in the satsang of these great persons. Although it obviously was very heartbreaking that his mother was gone, he could see beyond the trauma and the crisis. This is what happens when we're actually touched by transcendental knowledge. We see an opportunity in every situation. Because there's so many things that happen in this world that are just beyond our control, whoever we are. He was grateful. Grateful for the dedication and the love that his mother gave him. And grateful to God who had given him such a mother. But that same God that gave the mother was still in his heart and there for him, and he knew that. Destiny took his mother away. But he saw, now I could give my whole life in complete dependence on the Supreme, because I have no one else. Being insecure is a very difficult situation. How will we survive? This little child, just by his eagerness to hear the message of God and to hear these great people chanting the names and glories of the Lord, he was able to process the most severe crisis a child could possibly undergo with optimism and gratitude. Now there's no one to protect me in this world, so I have the opportunity to totally depend on Vishnu, on the Supreme. And he learned how to meditate. He learned how to process the sunny and stormy times of life in a spirit of devotion. He traveled. He went to the big cities. He was watching. He was looking for God there. He was looking for the opportunity to reciprocate, to chant the names of the Lord, to hear about the Lord, to remember the Lord. He was, by the mercy of what he experienced in his satsang of sages, he was able to see every living being and all of the creation as inseparable from his ultimate object of love. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells, Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravartate. Iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. I am the source of all spiritual and all material worlds. Everything emanates from me. Mamayavam so jiva loke jiva bhuta sanat. All living beings are my children. They're all part of me. My beloved Guru Dev, Srila Prabhupada, sometimes he told us, we should not just see through our eyes. Because when we see through our eyes, we just see how things appear. We can see through our ears. When we hear how the whole creation is the energy of the Supreme, how every living being is a part of the Supreme, then we actually see Krishna in everything. Krishna tells in Gita, for one who sees me everywhere and everything in me, for that person I'm never lost, nor is he ever lost to me. So this little boy is walking around through the cities, and he's seeing everything as the divine energy of the Lord. And he's seeing every person as a child of God. From the cities he went to towns, villages, beautiful gardens, agricultural fields. He entered into forests. Some of the forests had lovely lakes filled with fully blossomed lotus flowers. He didn't stop anywhere. He was seeking the goal of life. He wandered into the deepest parts of the forest, where there was hardly any light. Places where there were snakes and jackals and tigers and leopards and wild elephants. Probably a lot of mosquitoes too. But none of these things distracted him. Neither the beauty of the lotus flowers or the fear of the snakes. He sees snakes all around. He knows one of them killed his mother. They could easily kill him. At night, he didn't have a flashlight. But he was fearless because he was depending on the Supreme. And one day, he was so thirsty and tired. His body and his mind were totally fatigued. He saw a pond of water. He took his bath and he drank the water and was refreshed. He sat down to meditate on Bhagavan, on the Supreme Person, as he had heard and learned to meditate from those great rishis. They were living in him through their instructions, their Vani. By hearing the beautiful pastimes of the Lord, he was meditating on the form of Krishna as they described it, within his heart. By his sincerity, Krishna in his heart revealed himself. Bhagavad Gita tells, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddha yogam tam yena mamupayantate. One who approaches me to serve me with love, I give the understanding by which they could come to me. He was seeing Vishnu, Krishna. He was seeing God within his heart. This beautiful, beautiful, eternal form of the Lord. He was totally mesmerized. The ecstasy of his heart was flowing. Bhava, the preliminary state of love of God had awakened from his heart. Suddenly, that form disappeared. He opened his eyes and saw the forest around him, dark jungle. He wanted that experience again. He closed his eyes to meditate, but nothing happened. He took his bath again. He drank the water again. He meditated exactly the way he meditated before. But somehow, he couldn't see that form. He didn't have that darshan. He tried again and again with such eagerness. Because he was in such a receptive state, Lord Narayan in his heart, who has many names, spoke to him, and he could hear. The Lord's speaking to all of us. But we're so distracted by our egoistic influences and all of the temptations and aversions around us, we can't hear. This beautiful, sweet voice from within his heart said, "My child, you are not yet ready to perceive my eternal form. For the rest of your life, you will serve me with eagerness, and through that service, you will become completely purified of passion, of ignorance, of selfishness, of ego. And in your pure state, you will attain me forever." With that instruction, the child spent the rest of his life traveling around the world, chanting the names of the Lord, hearing the glories of the Lord, and always remembering the Lord. He said he was eager to serve the Lord because he was seeing the Lord in every situation. The same thing that causes a disease could be therapeutic to cure that disease. Our activities in this world, when they're performed with selfishness, with arrogance, with greed, anger, envy, when we're in such an illusion, then all of our activities entangle us in karma. We're looking for happiness. When a person commits a crime, somehow or other, due to a distorted covering over their true self, they're thinking they're going to find happiness in that. But there's a reaction. The government may put you in prison, but even if they don't, your karma is going to come back to you. The law of karma is, for every action there's an equal reaction. If we do good karma, we become attached to the results of that. They come and they go. If we do bad karma, the suffering will come and go. But with the same material things, with the same efforts of our human energy, if we just engage them in devotional service, in bhakti, we become purified. It's the ultimate medicine. We could use money for reckless material reasons. Or we could use Lakshmi in the service of Narayan, in the service of the Lord and the Lord's children. We could use our abilities. And we could use material things. Srila Prabhupada, when he would speak in a microphone, he would say this microphone could be used to misguide a nation, to be hateful. You know, in Germany, Hitler was building stadiums, he was using sound systems, radios, so much technology to induce hate in people, to exploit people. Saintly people could use the exact same things to enlighten people, to serve people, to purify people. There's so many examples. We just heard an ambulance. What is an ambulance? It's just a car. Somebody's using a car to rob a bank and kill people, and somebody's using a car and making it an ambulance to save people's life. We all have free will, how we want to utilize our lives. So yes, the same material things can be used to induce the highest spiritual liberation. Because if everything is coming from God, Janmadya Shagata, everything is actually spiritual. The word yoga means connect. It doesn't mean to negate. It means to connect. Our bodies, our minds, the things of this world, we don't need to negate them. We want to connect them. And seva, bhakti yoga, is the process of connecting everything and spiritualizing what's apparently material nature. We may be scholars, scientists, philosophers, poets. We may be politicians, administrators, warriors, business, industry, agriculture. We may be doing various types of trade or labor. Krishna tells Yat Karosi Yadashnashi, whatever we do, the perfection of our life in whatever role we're in is to learn to see that everything is the property of God. Everyone is a child of God. And the Lord is Suhridam Sarvabhutanam, my dear most loving friend, and He's within my heart. And as we utilize things for that purpose of service, the Lord within the heart reciprocates and awakens the bliss of our soul. Awakens devotion. And that devotion is like a river. It flows from the soul out from our heart into whatever we do. And like a river, it's ever flowing toward the ocean. And it's just a matter of time till every part of that river reaches the ocean. And the ocean is prema. Adosha datata sadhu sangota bhajana kriya. At the beginning of our spiritual lives, there's a little faith that there's something beyond all this greed and envy of this world and all these temporary temptations that we're seeking. The Lord reciprocates with that shraddha. and directs us, like the little child, to the association of people who can nourish our spirituality. And with the faith they have, we adopt a spiritual practice. Sadhana, bhajana kriya. Through that spiritual practice, anartha nivriti. Gradually the envy and the greed and the selfishness and the ego of the heart is cleansed away, like dirt is cleansed away from a mirror. And gradually we see our true self through the mirror of the mind. And then the subject matter of hearing and chanting the Lord's message and praises, it becomes the most satisfying, blissful thing in all of existence. And it's something we could do 24 hours a day for all of eternity if we are simply sincere to do so. But that's very much established in the company of like-minded people who are seeking that purification. And gradually, love awakens in our heart. And that love leads us to prema, the awakening of the eternal nature of the soul, where we experience the infinity of Krishna's love, of God's love. And we become an instrument of that love. When you water the root of a tree, it extends to every part of the tree. When that love begins to awaken within our heart, it extends toward every living being and all of material nature, because we see everything is part of Krishna. Krishna's all attractive. When we become attracted to Krishna's all attractiveness, supreme beauty, strength, knowledge, fame, wealth. Srila Prabhupada explains what real renunciation is. It means charity. When you have so much and you want to share it with others, that's renunciation. The Lord shares everything. He's the proprietor of everything, and He's giving everything. When we become attracted to Krishna, we understand a very simple but powerful message. What is that? That everyone in the world is just looking for Krishna. Everyone's looking for God. Why are we attracted to, some people are attracted to diamonds and rubies and ornaments. Some people couldn't care less. They're attracted to black leather jackets. Some people are attracted to sports and Hollywood and Bollywood. And other people are attracted to just sitting home and reading books. Whatever we're attracted to, if we're attracted to physical things, it's only because it's Krishna's energy. We're attracted to Krishna. The love between people, whether it be philanthropic love or passionate love, why are we attracted to anybody? If their body dies, we're crying. We're not attracted to the dead corpse. We're attracted to that body when it exists because that body is a manifestation of Krishna's energy. But it's the soul in the body that gives life to the body, that could reciprocate and love us back. And why do we love that soul? Because that soul is part of Krishna. So actually, we're just seeking to love God, everyone, at all times. The little cockroach on your cabinet is looking for food because it gives him pleasure. Why is the cockroach looking for food? That food is the energy of Krishna. It's a reality. That little insect is just looking for the experience of Krishna, but doesn't recognize the relationship with the food and Krishna, so he's just looking for it in the food. Whatever attachments, whatever attractions we have for anything or anyone is a manifestation of our attraction to God, who's in everything and everyone through his energies. When we recognize that, when we chant the names of the Lord, when we chant the message of the Lord, the pastimes of the Lord, and when we come together to hear these things, we recognize, we get an experience, we experience a reciprocation with the Lord within our heart because we're eager to connect with him through this method. And gradually, in whatever we do, we're recognizing how we're being attracted to Krishna. And that river of devotion that flows from our heart, in due course of time reaches the sea of the prayojana, our ultimate perfection. Prema Pumarto Mahan. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught that the highest goal of all dharma, of all religion, of all occupations is to love God, to feel the presence of God everywhere and in everything. That's attained through service to the Lord. And in its perfection, it culminates in loving service to the Lord. To Lord's creation and to all Lord's children. Narada explained these things, and I'm very much summarizing because it's really a long, interesting narration. But he lived a whole life like this. And he said, just like a flash of lightning and bolt of thunder, he died. And in the next day of Brahma, he took his next birth in this form of Narada Muni. Krishna personally gave him a veena to sing the glories of the Lord wherever he was. And in the Vedic literatures we find Narada Muni was the guru of Prahlad, of Dhruva, of Mugrari, of the king Prajani Barhishad, of the Prachetas, of Valmiki Muni, the author of Ramayana, of Vyasadeva, the author of Vedic literatures. So here at the Bhakti Center, it is our hope and our invitation that there are programs where people could simply come together to hear this transcendental subject matter. Machchita madgata prana bodhiyanta parasparam khatiyantaschamam nityam tushanti charamanti cha. Bhagavad Gita tells, when my devotees are eager to enlighten one another with transcendental subjects, I reveal myself within the heart. So yes, an oasis is important to refresh us, to nourish us. So every Thursday we have kirtan. Every Sunday we have the Bhagavad Gita. Sometimes on Tuesdays also. The Bhakti Center is an offering to the people of New York. A humble offering. A place where we could come together to really help focus on our spiritual nature, our spiritual needs. A place to awaken this eagerness to love God and to serve God. Because that is the true medicine for all depression, for all suffering, for all illusion. Because in the company of devotees to chant God's names and hear God's glories, it awakens our deepest potential. The soul is eternal. The soul is full of knowledge. The soul is full of ananda, or happiness. That happiness can only truly be realized through the awakening of the prema, the love for God that is within us and within everyone. It doesn't matter what race, it doesn't matter what sex, what social background, what nationality, what religion. We're not speaking about a sectarian religious concept. We're speaking about going to the essence, the universal truth that's at the heart of life, that every true religion is drawing us toward. The awakening of ecstatic love. The Lord has come to this world again and again and empowered so many great people to share this gift and be happy. So it is our hope that in this way the Bhakti Center can be a wonderful spiritual home. Thank you very much. Kostuba Prabhu wrote the script for tonight's. And we're so grateful. We have our very, very dear, exalted, transcendental teacher of true devotion, Radhanath ji. I can give another class for many months and years just to describe my appreciation for Radhanath. He's a yoga teacher, a bhakti yoga teacher, an Ashtanga yoga teacher, but whatever he does, he cares so much to help people to become happy, to love God. We have Kostuba Prabhu, through his incredible intellect and compassion, he's such an incredible teacher. We have Satyaraj Prabhu, one of the great mentors of the Bhakti Center, who has written so many books on so many subject matters, all to enlighten people's hearts with such authenticity and genuineness. We have Badarayan Prabhu, my dear godbrother, who through his well wishes, through his incredible music, through his wisdom, is such a great support for our bhakti, for everyone at the Bhakti Center. We have our Birbhadra Ram Prabhu, and Dhyana and Shyama and Jai Giridhari, who are leading the Bhakti Center in so many ways and performing so many difficulties. They don't even get paid. But they're inspiring others because they so deeply appreciate everybody who comes. That's the nature of a devotee. Anyone who comes forward, they have such appreciation for receiving the gift of bhakti from the heart. And that inspires us to want to receive more and more. We have Jahnavi Jivana Devi, who has descended from London to inspire our hearts with her incredible dancing and singing and devotional nature. We have Ganasham Priya Prabhu, better known as Jai Shetty, or Jay Shetty, or whatever. So much wisdom, so much inspiration, so much brilliance in presenting real solutions to the real problems of the world. We have our Radhanath Prabhu and his good wife, Beth, and she has Ekant something. Huh? Ekanta Bhakti Devi, who have been here at the Bhakti Center since its very beginning. Badarayan Prabhu's incredibly illustrious, creative, artistic, and devoted wife, Rukmini. And I can speak about each and every one of you, Yashoda Dulal Prabhu and Sri Radhika, Sundarnath Prabhu, Braj Mohan Prabhu has come all the way from Mumbai just to try to share this wonderful gift of devotion. And please forgive me, I'm not saying so many names, but the Bhakti Center is a gathering, a community of people who don't really want anything from anyone. They just want to share this beautiful universal spirit of devotion with us, to talk about these spiritual subjects together, to sing together, to chant together, to eat together, to serve together. Thank you very much. So with this eagerness, may we have kirtan. Be eager to sing. And kirtan really is the deepest form of meditation according to the sages, the yogis, and the Vedas. Because it's a way to fully absorb our body and our mind and our hearts in the highest spiritual reality, the all-attractive, all-loving Krishna. Everyone, please stand up and let us dance together. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari. Haripa. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari. Haripa. Much louder, please. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hari Rama, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Nitai go, Hari go, Hari go, Hari go, Hari go. Jai Jai Sri Radhe.
Everyone together, let us resound from our hearts the holy names of Shri Shri Radha Murlidhar with one voice. Everyone, please. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, with much volume of devotion. Everyone, please. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In this troubled world, greed, envy, conflict, and illusion, we could all play a significant part as instruments of our beloved Lord's compassion. Through our actions, through our words, through our thoughts, through our example, to uplift the energy of the world. And there is no greater power than the congregation of sincere souls with prayerful hearts, purifying the land, the universe, with this Maha Mantra, a vibration that awakens the supreme goodness from the hearts of all. Everyone, please, together, many millions of times louder with all of our hearts. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Louder, please, everyone. Hare Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Radhanath. Can we have a huge round of applause?
And I forgot so many wonderful personalities when everybody, Rasika Gopi Devi and Dayal Gauranga Prabhu, they bring so much light and life to the world. And we have our Jai Jagannath Prabhu. He's like a universe of devotion in one body. And so many others. I'm so grateful to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Maharaj. We're so grateful to you. That was one of the most beautiful talks I've ever heard in my entire life. Every single word was just charged with beautiful spiritual energy. Thank you. Quick announcement that the feast that you all will enjoy in a moment has been lovingly donated by Premananda and Gauri Priya in honor of the second birthday of their beautiful little daughter. Are they around? Yeah, they're in the back. There we go. Raise your hand. There she is. Everyone, please shower your blessings upon the people.